What's good, YouTube? Ministeel here with another top 1000 deck breakdown, and full transparency between testing multiple decks for video ideas as well as slight slacking, here and there. In general, I dropped out of top 1000 recently, which is when I decided to try out this Solgaleo list that we'll be breaking down today, and it just started to click all of a sudden. And what I say all of a sudden is that I saw a concept where they were playing like more tools than I would personally feel comfortable with, but you'll see when we get to this. Regardless, as you can see, I'm currently on a 6-game win streak, and with the deck, I find myself back in the top 1000, currently at 851. I finished last night at closer to like the top, like 750, almost 600 range. But you sleep for, you decide to sleep, and people just keep climbing. So that's how ranked is, just a never-ending grind. But this deck did single-handedly get me back to the top 1000. So let's just jump right into the card by card. As you can see, this deck is pretty standard in the sense that it is a Solgaleo, or Solgaleo, however you pronounce it, a Skarmory list. So the list is standard, in the Pokemon line is standard. As you can see, it's the 2-1-2 line of like the 2 Cosmog into 1 Cosmog. This card is very important for like it technically was the Oricorio for the most part. And then Skarmory is just so far in my own testing or personal preference. Although in the meta report, I kind of like lean towards like maybe it's not the best option for Solgaleo because of the results. In my personal practice, Skarmory continues to be the best thing to pair next to the Solgaleo, as it backs it up in aggression, as well as just like makes the most out of the tools that we're playing. And tools are so good in this game, and the reason we're playing so many is because we see more Guzmas or Guzmas, how do you pronounce it? So yeah, more Guzmas are in the meta, so you have to be careful how you play them. You're not just have two Skarmories and a Solgaleo and just have all 3 of them equipped. You want to keep it to just your active. Obviously, if you move a Pokemon out, you equip another one, and you sort of play it that way. So the strategy as a whole continues to be the same. Ideally you want to go second. If you start Skarmory, you'd be aggressive, start hitting for 50 while you start building up the Solgaleo on the back. Sometimes you'll get Solgaleo as early as turn 2, so realistically starting with Cosmog's not the worst thing either. Going first, you are a little bit behind, but again, due to the speed of Solgaleo, that step behind that you are quickly becomes an advantage once you start swinging for 120. As soon as your opponents technically they get a turn, you go back. So yeah, they've only had 2 turns to do anything. And what I mean by that is that a lot of decks currently are either using Giratina as like their end game, whether it's the Oricorio list with the Greninja, or there's this new Giratina list that's all over the place I've been going against a lot, which is the Giratina with Tapu Lele and also Greninja, which are decks that, yeah, they're very powerful and very strong, even Giratina Darkrai. But they take so much time to set up that even if you're going first and take an extra turn to get the Solgaleo set up to attack, you're instantly applying so much pressure that they can't really deal with it. At least that's like the concept, right? As soon as you see your play, it gets really hard for them to deal with. When it comes to, obviously, the rare candies, Pokeballs, research, those are all staples. As for I'll get to the tools like afterwards. As far as deciding for Sabrina and Cyrus, these are just like, they've been my favorites since like the beginning of the game. Well, not the beginning, because obviously Cyrus wasn't there, but since they've come out, that 1-1 line is almost like in every list I play. And if you're asking like, oh, why is there no like maybe potions and stuff to counter the chip damage from Greninjas and Darkrai's, or there's no Lily, because Lily's a very strong card. I agree with that. I believe that if there was a card that would try to fit in, it would be Lily, because there's some games where like they get to hit you a little too aggressively early, or in like mirror matches and stuff, and a Lily will completely like flip the game back in your favor. However, this list is completely committed to the aggression and just trying to be as fast as possible and deal too much damage before they can even react. And to the point where even if they do react, you have like more damage coming forward, where that's like, it's just too much basically. The faster you're able to hit them, the faster or the easier it is like to close out the game later. So that's why it's just pure aggression. So the only supporters we have outside of like research for consistency is just Sabrina and Cyrus to continue manipulating the board and making sure we get those knockouts. And if they try to run away, bring it back and stuff like that. Cards that are very popular in the meta currently that we aren't playing, but we are like wary of, is Mars and Guzma, that I did pronounce. I mean, did mention, but yeah, Mars, I don't see it fitting in this deck because again, we're trying to close out games early. Mars is more of either an early game to disrupt your opponent while you set up. So it's like, it's good against us, not for us. And then the other option is in the late game, when you're both fighting and you're down to 2 points, but usually you're not in that point. Like our deck wins by the mid game, so we don't care about the late game Mars, and the early game Mars isn't necessarily in our favor either. We rather much focus on just dealing as much damage as possible. And when it comes to the tools, I honestly, my first iteration of Solgaleo, and like the one that got me to Master Ball to begin with, was definitely, it was just the 3 tools, the 2 Rocket Helmets and Cape, which is actually like towards the greedier end of things because you risk not seeing a tool for your Skarmory. However, now we're on the other end and we're playing 5 tools, which realistically, that's where the range, I feel like double helmet is like necessary. It's just the best one. It guarantees the 20 damage. It makes your opponent hesitant. Like in some cases, the cases in which Barb is better is like a situation where they have an Oracle, like you're going against Oricorio, and they don't really have an answer, or they don't have like a way to just to back it up and constantly switch around, or if they switch around, they're like losing tempo. That's like the one way where Barb is better. Because the issue with Barb, or why it's definitely not at the tier of Helmet, is that yes, it poisons, and then the residual damage is kind of similar to Helmet. However, if they keep attacking the same Pokemon with the same Pokemon, I mean, it's like it's not getting extra poison, right? So it gets a little slower than Helmet at that point. However, I feel like both of them are above Cape currently. The only matchup where I want Cape like at more than one is the Giratina Darkrai, which although it is like a popular matchup, a lot of people are playing it. The reason I stuck with just one Cape is the fact that you just need that one Cape to beat the Giratina Darkrai. It's just a matter, the reason I would play 2 is just to see it more often in that matchup. But as you can see by the win streak, as you can see by where I'm at in ranked, I'm actually like pretty pleased with how this deck has been performing. Granted, you could switch things here and there. If I were to place the Lily in the deck, it would be probably by cutting down Barb to just 1, and it would be like a 2-1-1. Like 1 Cape, 1 Barb, 2 Helmets. Like that's the first cut I would do. But so far, the deck's been working, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. At least that's my mentality. So that's enough for the list as a whole. Whether this is the best way to play the deck is beyond me, as anyone with experience in rank can attest. There's a lot of luck involved, from seeing the cards you want, you need to facing favorable matchups, to putting your opponent on better habit. Like sometimes, like, you know, if they have a Cyrus here, I lose, or if they have red, I lose. But you have to like just hope they don't, and that comes down like that's way past like skill level. That's way past like preparation. Like sometimes there's only 20 card decks, right? So like they'll have consistency, you'll have consistency, and it's just like you gotta hope it's not all under your control. That's what I'm trying to get at. So like you can't take any deck too like personally. Like the losses, there will be lose streaks, there will be win streaks. Like the same way I just won 6 games, I might lose 6 games. I have no control over that outside of like playing my best. Hopefully I could like show that in the gameplay. Ultimately, I truly believe that one of the strengths for Solgaleo is that it's able to ignore most of the variances that I just mentioned. From like bad matchups, you could say like Oricorio is a bad matchup, but with the Barbs, like if you put Barbs on your Solgaleos and Skarmory on its own, Skarmory with a helmet like beats the Oricorio on its own, right? At least that's the concept. Cape on the Solgaleo makes you where you get out of range of like the standard Darktina lines. And all these new Giratina lists are actually too slow in setup. Like they don't have a big hitter until like late in the game. So trust me, when it comes to like bad matchups, Solgaleo doesn't really have them, at least in my opinion. And when it comes to like the opponent having the proper cards on like better habit, the oppressive speed of Solgaleo, like if you see your optimal hand, you could completely outmatch even like the opponent's best hands, as they don't have time to set up or do anything to actually like respond to what you're doing. And that's like honestly, obviously, like best case scenario, but that's what I'm presenting to you, right? Like I'm not gonna give you a list and like, oh, if you brick, you're able to like, no, like the idea is you will play a bunch, like for ranked, you have to play a whole bunch of games. Like if you brick, you're gonna lose those games. But when you see the correct play, I mean the correct hands, or have the correct line of play, that's where it matters. I'm trying to present to you the deck at its best. But before I get to the gameplay, if you're new here, I go by Men of Steel. I post all kinds of Pokemon Pocket content, from Master Ball level deck breakdowns like this one, to weekly meta reports and some expert solo battle guides. If any of that interests you, please consider subscribing. There's so much more to come, as well as we're inching ever so closely to 500, and I appreciate all of y'all for subscribing and watching my videos. Regardless, I'd like to thank y'all for watching, and above all else, stay pro. All right, getting right into it. We're going first. Like I said, not ideal, but we could still work with it, right? Especially with a hand like this one. All right. Okay, so it's the Arceus list, but we're using Dark, so it's gonna be like the Arceus Darkrai maybe. We're always gonna do research here. If we see Solgaleo, we're in the money. All right, drop Cosmog there. Now we have 2 options. The fact that they could attack is what leads me to... Now the question is, do we go Helmet or Barb? It's a Pokemon that evolves, so I'd rather go Helmet. That's one way to look at it, by the way. We go Helmet. We'll hold Barb. Like if they end up doing like some kind of Sabrina play or whatever, it'll be rough, but we can't just commit everything to the board right now. Even though if we were to do that, actually it might... Yeah, let's keep it like that. There's a world where we should have put the Barb because it deters them from doing the Sabrina play anyways. But we'll see. Regardless, if they don't get the Zubat out the way, we do one-shot it with Skarmory, by the way. That's one thing that's huge in this list. So yeah, a Sabrina would have been tough there. Alright, so they're going... Alright, we're in a pretty good spot. They don't have the Arceus yet. At least they haven't showed it. Unfortunately, our hand is like suffering from the worst case scenario in the sense that I would have rather showed y'all like a list where I'm doing better here. I mean, like, I just showed y'all, oh, let's play 5 tools, and now I'm bringing on tools, but things happen. We are just like 1 card away from like completely going all out, so they're at 3 cards in hand. You gotta assume that there's no Arceus there. Because technically, what I'm considering here is going Sabrina, hitting them for 50 on the Darkrai. Maybe I'll outspeed the damage here rather than taking out the Zubat. The Zubat might not mean anything to us, right? Or we could do it like if we see Solgaleo, then we get a little more aggressive. Yeah, let's just threaten the Zubat. Because if they do have Rare Candy into Crobat, they could get the Zubat out the way, of course, right? But if they don't have the Rare Candy, or they don't have Crobat, doesn't matter. I take that all back. They have it. There's like there was no way for them to run away. Let's see here. Alright, so it seems like they're going to keep the wall up. And at any moment they could just get Crobat out the way, right? So I see why they're not stressed to do this. And Arceus is... They're hoping for Arceus the same amount that we're hoping for the Solgaleo, by the way. Because if they draw Arceus next turn, they could take out the Skarmory without even having to attack. But we saw our guy. Let's go. Let's go Rare Candy. Had I had Solgaleo earlier, I might have considered like just straight out playing the cards the other way around. Let's go. And I know that might have not made sense in like in proper English or whatever. But what I meant, they might have just left. We still can't knock anything down, right? You see here, what we could do is put Poison on Solgaleo so that if they try to attack with the Darkrai, we're fine. You know, I'm gonna be aggressive here. And the reason we're doing this is if they have Leaf, we get punished. But if they don't have Leaf, if they want to back up this Darkrai, they're not attacking for like the next 3 turns. Let's put Poison Barb here. So that if they play like if they do out the Darkrai, I mean like if they go Darkrai and they draw Arceus and they knock it out with Crobat, we're in a good spot. Also, we're a Cyrus away from just like knocking out this Darkrai no matter what. We're covered all our bases is what we're doing here. And even if they do have Guzma or Guzma or however you want to pronounce it, it would require like we replace the tools immediately. Granted, Skarmory is like long gone at that point. They didn't draw Arceus, which is another thing. Like I said, a lot of ranked goes to this, where it's you just play a whole bunch of games and you gotta hope every now and then. You see, they didn't have their Arceus. Had we not had Solgaleo, they'd be in the same, like they'd be doing backflips too. So and there you go. Now we're not getting attacked by Darkrai for like the next 3 years. And right, you know, I'm gonna stop not playing. Like I have to record every time I play. I feel like that's the answer. Because the way I be drawing in these videos, Rising Road, and now we basically one-shot anything that they could try to do. We are out of like board manipulation, right? But that's why I play Cyrus. Like, what would have Mars done there? What would have Lily done there? That's why Mars and Cyrus, I feel like, are so strong. Did I say Mars? I meant Sabrina and Cyrus are so strong because you manipulate the board and it helps with your aggression. Like, you just want to manipulate the board, deal as much damage, choose where you go, where the damage goes, right? Alright, so here they're like begging for Arceus, but even if they do see Arceus, like, what then, right? Are they gonna put Arceus in the active? Well, they found the Arceus. Now what? They have to put in an active. Maybe they have an Alima play. But if they have an Alima play, then there's another turn that they're not attacking. I guess they... I don't know. No words for that, whatever that was. I guess is there a world where they could stall enough where it matters? Like, we no longer manipulate the board, and you have to assume they have a Lima, that the way they're playing it. And I'll keep Skarmory in the back. There's no need to sacrifice him. If we go down to 130, the most they could do in one turn is 80. But the way they do it is by like they lose the second they go in with Crobat, right? So we don't care much about this. We could do this so that later on when we back up, we're still a turn away. We gotta apply the pressure regardless, right? We could play the song and dance for a while. And if they don't have a Limo, then it's just game. The second we have something on the active that's not healed Arceus. We aren't playing red. Red's a card that I forgot to mention in deck profile that I did consider playing. But again, there's so many lists that are like Ongra Ninja and stuff like where the ability to have Barb and Helmet deal that 20 rather than red is a little more efficient. But that's another card you could definitely take out a Barb for a red, and I could see that like working out, right? Regardless, that's game 1 and we got it. So let's just keep on going. All right, going first again. So I'm really trying to show you how aggressive going first is, but I guess we're not seeing it today. However, this hand is a beauty. Another list that I was trying out that I haven't posted is it's another Arceus list. Okay. This could be rough, especially... Actually, no. They can't automatically, like, take the game on us. This is definitely hoping for Skarmory. However, a cape would be nice, too, just for... Okay, no, that's even better. All right. That's actually better, because we're able to build up the Solgaleo in the back without having to risk anything that's going up front, right? Are we scared of this deck hitting us with Mars? Or a red card? Because we could put Poison Barb on the Carnivine up front and hope that they don't swing, right? Or we could put in Skarmory just so that if they have the red card, we don't lose it. But we're playing 5 tools. I just also don't want to get red carded, right? That's the other thing. They didn't put down Arceus next to Zubat, which is an odd play unless they're like trying to be really... But there's nothing I could do if the Arceus was there, right? Poison Barb is also really bad against Arceus once Arceus itself is set up. I think this is just to avoid Mars, but this might actually show... Actually, no, what? I'll explain why I'm doing this before I run out of time. There's 2 things that putting a tool turn 1 might express. One is that he might think I'm a Dirtle. It's like, because there's no point in putting that tool just yet. Number 2, which is would be the wrong side of history, would be they're like, oh, this guy wants to keep his hand, so he's keeping it low. That's rough, right? That's not the outcome we want. But all right, and what happens here is that we have 2 options again. Actually, that's because we could just completely sacrifice this Cosmog, not care about what happens, and just build up this one, or we could try to save this Cosmog and then we like get punished by Cyrus, which I think we don't want to risk that. If anything, we'll do this, and the way we're gonna protect this Cosmog is put him on better have actually better have what was I thinking? My math was off on that one, my bad. Regardless, we're not gonna risk getting hit by anything this time around. And we just gotta hope that our speed gets us there. If they don't have the Crobat play, we still lose this, but I guess it didn't matter anyways. Another random play we could have done is like bring out the Solgaleo already. But that's to protect, I don't know. Maybe it would have been worth it because we do protect a second Solgaleo from coming out. So look, in hindsight, I probably would have done that. I would have put this Solgaleo, the front one, to just start taking damage. And like, yeah, they could hit it or whatever. But then we have 2 Solgaleos coming up. Although having both of them damage, I don't know. We'll see, right? How it ends up going. This is a Skarmory guaranteed, but no tool on the Skarmory, so debatable on what we want to do with that. Let's go here. Honestly, it's going to come down to if they see the Crobat, right? Due to how we played it. Yeah, the correct play 100% in hindsight. So I'll leave this in the video, win or lose. I'll leave it in the video. Is, and we're really hoping he doesn't have the rare candy already. Win or lose would have been to promote this Solgaleo. I think the HP matters here. Honestly, this was a bad play in the sense that I didn't even do math. I'm just like... I'm sure it matters. But yeah, having 2 Solgaleos would have been so much better, especially in this situation. Like, okay, even if they see the Crobat, they attack with the Arceus, all of that comes together for them, and they knock out one Solgaleo, we have another one. Now we're literally banking on this one Solgaleo to do all the damage that we need. And granted, we put ourselves in a position where we don't lose to this initial swing. However, since we put Cape rather than a potion, like a potion, I mean, not potion, some kind of like helmet or something like that, we're definitely at the mercy of... Like, what are we scared of? Actually, here we're not scared of much, right? And this Skarmory is actually like a liability. Wait, they already have a point? Why did I miss that? How did I miss that? How did I miss that? Oh, because... Okay, yeah, my bad. You know what? This shows exactly why I should have played this differently. Wow. I was completely off on all of my plays here. I don't know what I was thinking in any of this. Now we're at the mercy of Osiris, and we don't even like deserve to like survive past it, really. What was I thinking? Yeah, we don't deserve this win at all. I do want to show that what the misplay was. So I'm gonna keep the video. I'm gonna keep this in the video. Y'all gonna see me punt my win streak away. This was definitely winnable. Yeah. GG's to them. They played it correctly, but what in the world did I just do? Yeah, my bad, guys. So I definitely just punted my win streak on the last game, but hopefully y'all could see how there was a line to victory or a path to victory in that one. Going first, not ideal, but we do have some good things going. This is a matchup where it comes down to who sees like their entire lineup first. Us going first kind of helps because we're able to apply some pressure here. We will put the barb so that they don't swing at us, or if they swing at us, they just like, okay, so you want to lose, and we gotta hope this is the Cosmog. And we got it. We have two ways of getting there. However, without Cape or something, if they see their Garchomp play, we're kind of in trouble here. But the second we see Solgaleo, we're in the money, right? One thing that Solgaleo has over Garchomp, let's say we both see our plays on curve, is that they're 50 to, like, hitting us for 50 to then hit us for 100, still doesn't knock us out. So we take 2 hits from this. Alright, that's them showing that they don't have it. That's good. I almost don't want to research because if I don't want to get red carded. But if we see the Solgaleo, we could already do it. But instead, what we'll do is just go straight into the... And there's no reason to build up Solgaleo just yet, because these Skarmorys could survive a hit from Garchomp at full power anyways. Like, I mean, they could take the 50. And if he wants to run into a 50 while we have the poison up, by all means. Although... he'll just skip over, right, and hit the Cosmoem. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's see here. So they do have their Garchomp. And clearly they put in the bench. They're going to definitely go for the back line, which is rough. But if we draw Solgaleo, we're kind of okay. We do have the research, right? So there's a very good chance that we see it. If we don't see it, yikes. Okay, Cyrus. Not in our best interest right now. We have a lot of manipulation of the board, but what we need to see 100% is the Solgaleo here. There it is. Okay, perfect. And a Cape. That's going to come in handy as well, but we could hold that for now. No need to reveal it. We got the Solgaleo. So now this Garchomp's in trouble, right? Unless they have, like, Lily. Yeah, because we put them down to 120. So if they don't Lily, or even if they try to like run away, right? Put this Garchomp in the back or something. We have the Cyrus to bring it back out. Solgaleo knocks it out for sure next turn. Let's see. No Lily is game. Especially since we have that other Garchomp, I mean, the Gibble in the back with just 20 HP. Skarmory's going to steal the game at any moment. The delay makes me think no Lily. If they have Lily and they took this long to play, kind of weird. All right, they went for that. That makes sense. We could hold Cape now because there's no real risk here. Well, Rising Road. So you see, like, this is where what I mentioned by the speed of the decks. Even if we both see it on curve, we tank more hits than they can. Lily does change the fact the end of the game, like does change the rate of the game, but we don't require it as much as they do, right? This is another, I guess, trick, quote unquote. Oh, not the cape. Barb here. Actually, no. Barb on Galeo. Because if Rampardos comes in, he has 150 HP, swings, goes to 100, goes down to 80. Doesn't matter, right? Basically, I'm baiting. Like, I'd rather them Solgaleo than Mars or something like that. I mean, I'd rather them Guzma. So if they like, oh, like let me Guzma. That's where I'm sorry, like I'm taking such pause. It's just like that's what I'm playing in my head. Yeah, let's just take the knockout here. I'm assuming they're gonna go into Rampardos or Cranidos. Which one's the final form? I'm sorry. Once I start into the tank, I start like getting completely losing track of everything. Yeah. Okay, so they went for the research. Okay, so basically the Skarmory, the tools that I was using was in an attempt to make them think like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. It makes sense in my head. Regardless, they didn't have the piece, but if they did have like rare candy into Rampardos, that means they didn't have rare candy into the Garchomp in the back, meaning we just steal the point. We were gonna steal the point regardless, whether the Skull Fossil went to the back or whatever it was. So GG's. All right, and 4 games that we've gone first in a row in a deck that wants to go second is crazy, but it's fine. We're going against fire. You gotta assume it's like a Charizard or Incineroar. There's an Incineroar list that I was contemplating using, which is pretty strong. So if you guys want to see that, feel free to comment. So that, you know, I know that y'all want to see that. No Cosmog in the open hand is kind of rough, but this does make it where they don't swing at us. And if they do swing at us, again, we just get the knockout. So it's like, why? What else? Yeah, if y'all want to see the Incineroar list, I will. It's a deck that I feel comfortable using to keep my top 1000. Because a way that I lost it was like, oh, let me try out this Garchomp list. Let me try out this. I was trying out so many lists, and it's the format's not for that right now. There's a lot of strong lists that are doing their thing. Speaking of strong lists, like the Oricorio Greninja list is supposedly like top tier, and I say supposedly because I kept going against Hold up, let's see what they did here. Oof. You see, this is one of those games where like, where's my boy Cosmog? Well, there's no option. There's nothing to do there. But yeah, I kept going against Rampardos list, Garchomps, even like Rockruff, and I was like, people still playing this? And yeah, they were. Okay, so let's see what they decided to do here. Giant Cape, or honestly, just a Cosmog to like be back into it. Yeah, like now at any point we're like back into the game. They are giving us the Litten. We'll set this up. I kind of don't want to put anything on our Pokemon. We're not at risk of being knocked out at any moment, so we'll take this hit here. And now we're in a position where even if they Charizard Stoke, right? Lily's where the game really starts to falter. The Cape is what helps us from being one shot by the Charizard, by the way. Granted, if they don't use red. So they did hard draw Charizard, which they will Stoke. So we're like, please, let me draw this. Solgaleo, because, and they have their Cape. Granted, there's the research. That's a huge draw, because not only can it give us the Solgaleo, could give us a card to like play around Sabrina. So we're playing around Sabrina more than we'd like to, huh? We could deal with this though. This is not the worst situation to be in. We could give them a whole bunch of like one-offs before. This is gonna definitely buy us time, right? Let's go here. Build this. Let's build both of these up. So like if we see like some kind of rare candy play, we'll hold all these tools. Like I said, a big important part of playing so many tools is that not to just throw them all on the board, because they will Guzma and then you're in trouble. If they swing here, they go to 130, so they're still not out of it. The Cape is almost exclusive at this point for the... Okay, there's the Lily. I know I said this play is going to buy us time, but it's only going to buy us so much time. All right, Solgaleo, where you at? 8 cards left in deck. There he is. What a boy. We're definitely just gonna try to buy as much time as possible, right? Does he have, like, because swinging here for 120, even though we survive, we lose to red for no reason. So let's do this. I think Barb is a little bit more useful here. If they have Sabrina, what would we do? Maybe it's worth putting a helmet here. Because at least that way, if they try to play a Sabrina play, we throw out the Cosmog. And again, the cape is 100% to buy us more time. If they swing anywhere, they get in range of our Solgaleo. If they go Lily again, you see, that's where it goes back to the deck profile. I think this video is worth posting. Maybe I'm not showing the list the best, like it's not getting the best showing. And now we do, however, we do lose to Sabrina at this point. But imagine Lily, Sabrina. Like at that point, like we were never gonna win this game. But let's send out Solgaleo. Our win conditions, they completely beat us if they have Sabrina or red. Either one of those just beats us. But if they don't have either of those, and so think of like they've seen, had they not seen Lily, we would have won too, or whatever. Let's see. If they have it, they have it. We can't do much about it. And Iono, wait, that's neither Sabrina or red. If we see Cyrus again though, they can't even run away. We don't care about no Pokeballs. Cyrus or Sabrina wins the game. If they decide to run away. If they decide to run away, I think they're way too slow to come back. Oh, come on. Cyrus or Sabrina off the top. Come on. Let's end this video with a dub. We don't care about none of this. They need 2 turns to set up the Charmander, the Charizard in the back. So they will survive the turn, which is fine. We just need to see some form. Actually, no. Is there a way to lose at this point? It can't attack next turn, right? There's not a card I'm like forgetting. They're out of lilies, so they can't heal no more. And we have the Sabrina Cyrus this time. So like whatever happens, I'm thinking in my head like this is just a game, right? Okay, yeah, GG's. What a way to end the video. Again, it happened where you could say like, oh, I won because they didn't see Sabrina, but I would have won had they not seen double Lily. So again, beautiful. I'm glad the way this. I try to get y'all some Giratina gameplay because I was seeing it all of yesterday, and like I saw, I had a 7-game win streak going into this video. Well, 6, and then we went to 7, and the deck performed very well against that matchup specifically. So I wanted to really showcase that, but I'm not gonna sit here until I see one. Unfortunately, you know, I got your boy got some responsibilities that I'm gonna get to. So at least hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like as always, I'll post like the losses. Hopefully you took away something from whether it was a win or a loss. This deck is very strong. I should have left it at the other screen. I don't mean to put that guy on blast. I guess we'll just speed up to where it says. I hate how many things we gotta click on this thing. I feel like I said that in that last video too. But enough rambling. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I honestly truly believe in this deck, the way it works. Skarmory, to my belief, is still the best thing to pair next to Solgaleo, and the cards that we're using specifically, the amount of tools that we're using, it's just, it all adds up to what our game plan is, which is aggression, winning as fast as possible, and using that to our advantage. If you start taking like, oh, you want to cover too many bases, you start losing to other matchups, and like honestly, you gotta find what your deck does best, stick to it, and go all the way with it. And that's what I've done. And as you can see, I'm sitting now at 650, 657 to be specific. And honestly, it's a constant grind. If I don't play for like a day, I'll go back to like 800, 900. So, you know, honestly, your boy's gonna get back into it. So feel free to comment down below what other decks you want to see me try. Like I said, Incineroar is on top of mine. You might see that video regardless. Today, as I'm recording this, the Ursi Day is going on. So if there's any deck that tops that does well, that wasn't already like in our map, or that I haven't done a video on, I'll for sure try to make a video on that as well. As always, thanks for watching. If you got to this point of the video, I appreciate you so much. Subscribe. We're close to 500. We're getting closer and closer. So I appreciate it once again. And above all else, stay pro.